Welcome! I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to do a last effort for decorating for the 4th of July. I honestly hadn't planned on doing it, but my granddaughters became so disappointed I decided I'd go ahead and do it. But I was not going to spend any money on it. So I gathered all of my supplies, anything I thought that I could possibly use, and I started out by going through my 4th of July bin, which has all sorts of things. Some of the decorations go back years. They come from Amazon and Zulily and some from Hobby Lobby, but most of them are really old and I've used them a lot. Kind of forgot what I had, honestly, but I remember getting those pillow covers. I got those last year. Oh, I remember buying all these fireworks picks. I got those at Hobby Lobby, well, most of them. And these banners that I usually hang on the railing, well, they're all kind of faded and stained. So I keep digging in here, trying to see what I have. I love these pillow covers. I got them last year from Amazon. The red and white striped pillow covers are meant to be outside. The blue and white starred pillow covers are made of upholstery fabric, which is not meant to be outside. But this area of the porch gets no direct sunlight, seems to be pretty well protected from any rain or wind, and I haven't had any trouble with pillows being in this area. Well, then I decided, I better wipe all this off because I don't wipe it off enough. Now we're going to get into some of my crazy ideas. I got this idea that I could use this star that I got from IKEA at Christmas time. It's important to know that it's made out of paper. It's pretty difficult to put together, and I really had forgotten how to do it. So I kept fussing with that, and I didn't notice for quite a while that one of the points of the star was kind of separated. And then I realized, what am I doing? We get so much crosswind, that thing will definitely fall off and break, so I get it out of there. Next, I decide I'm going to make an arrangement with all of these fireworks picks that I got at Hobby Lobby last year. Now they're pretty unwieldy, and I've tried putting them in a pot by themselves. I bought this red pot at Ross at Christmas time and used it for kitchen utensils, and I thought it would be a really nice pot for this arrangement. But I needed to create a foundation for those fireworks picks. So at first I tried just some baby's breath, but as I've said before in a previous video, I just kind of refuse to cut my flower stems down because I really never know how I'm going to use them, and they were all sticking together, and so I realized I needed some greenery. I find this garland, and again, there is no way I'm going to cut it apart for this, so I just start sticking it and stuffing it in there. These green picks came from Temu. I got them about a month ago. This is the first time I've used them. I'm really happy how well they're fluffing up, and I think they look really nice in this arrangement. Then I start adding in the baby's breath, and I'm building up a really nice foundation that I feel pretty confident that's going to look good with the fireworks picks. I've had these little picks longer than I can remember, but I do remember getting the fireworks pick and this really cute shooting star pick last year in Hobby Lobby, and I just love them. I decide really the arrangement needs more, so I add in some of my blue flowers that I got last year. I bought a lot of stuff last year. Maybe that's why I decided I'm not going to buy anything this year. I love this lantern. I bought it at Savers in January, and the front window and the back window are broken, but that makes it more fun. So again, I'm building a base, and I'm going to put some of these fireworks picks, which really can be difficult, but I have an idea for them. So I just start putting them in, and I'm really looking forward to what will happen when I close the lantern door. You can see I just have them shooting out the window, and I just love the idea of fireworks shooting out a lantern window. It just seems such fun to me. I've had these little American flags for a while, and I just didn't seem to find a place for them last year, but I think they look really nice in this pot. And then I'm going to put them in our artificial cedar trees. I bought these at Christmas, and we've just got them in a pot held down by gravel. We love how they look. It is a little tricky to stick things in there because I have to dig out the gravel and stuff it in there. I love these natural fiber decorative doormats. They're so cute, but boy, do they make such a mess. All of the fibers come off and all kinds of things stick to them. So whenever I switch one out, I always make a point of cleaning it. This rug that I'm vacuuming is a commercial doormat. It is indestructible. It's really good at absorbing like snow and rain and getting mud off your shoes, but I'd always have to clean it up. Because it is so good at getting things off your shoes, it is a little bit difficult to clean. That's why I'm having to get out this edger tool. I have to take the edger in every single groove where things remain. It's kind of a pain. The only time I do it is when I'm changing out for the season. I'm putting down last year's 4th of July decorative rug, and I was really surprised that it ended up in such good shape because we'd stored it in the garage and not very well. When it was in the garage, it just looked terrible. It was bent in half and it had a lot of dog hair sticking to it, but I managed to clean it up, and I think it looks just as good as it did last year. Now I'm going to swap out these wreaths for something more 4th of July. This wooden sign, kind of a semi-American flag, was the very first 4th of July decoration I ever bought. I believe I got it in 2008 at Kohl's. It hadn't been a long time since I wiped out the door, but I always like to do that whenever I'm changing out the decor. I just love this color of blue. Got it painted during COVID, and it just makes me happy. Now I'm using a wreath that I bought after Christmas at Michael's for 90% off. It hardly costs anything, and as you can see, it's a white painted grapevine. It has a little bit of glitter on it, and I am just going to show you the whole wild affair when I was trying to make this wreath look good. The flags was just a bad idea. Then I think I have a couple of these larger fireworks picks. Let me try using those. So I start sticking them in the grapevine wreath, and I quickly find out it is hard to put anything in the grapevine wreath. Accidentally, I create Mickey Mouse. So I think, well, let me put this banner here and maybe that will look better. And it didn't, so I had a couple of small fireworks picks that I thought may repair the damage. And as you can see, I still have Mickey Mouse. Of course, let's put a flag in there. That will solve everything. And it didn't. So I decided, well, maybe if they're on a diagonal, everything will be better. I realize it's not, so I start adding ribbon, and I have tons of this ribbon. I got it from Amazon years ago, and they sent me a great big spool, so I can be using that ribbon the rest of my life without any fear that I'm going to run out. It's really pretty hard to work with it on this grapevine wreath, so I just do the best I can, and I try not to obsess that it is not on there perfectly even. Then I decide, well, it really needs something else, so I have a small number of these blue carnations. I start putting those in there, and I realize, yeah, the fireworks sprays just have to go. So maybe I have enough of the blue carnations. I can spread them around the wreath evenly and just have a very simple wreath. I add a bow, and it's not the worst thing I ever saw, but I am not happy with it. So I have these small fireworks spray, these little stars, and I add them in there to kind of fill in the middle. It's looking a little bit better, but I'm not satisfied and I'm kind of stuck, so I decide to do a little cleanup, and I add all of this spring summer decor that was on the porch in the fireworks bin because I am going to put it right back out after the 4th is over. I decide to look in my bin that has all my florals to see if I have some red and blue flowers that I can use to fill it in. I found these small red flowers and I'm trying to spread them around, but honestly this wreath is so hard to deal with. They didn't do it, so I start putting in some of my dark blue flowers. There's often a point when I make a wreath like this where I'm just making do with what I have that I start to feel desperate that I just am not going to be able to make this work. And it just is so scary. This wreath made it extra hard because it was so hard putting things in there. So I find a couple of large red flowers, and this one I'm sticking in the top was a full spray of small red roses, and man, did I have a hard time. Oh, my granddaughter decides that I need to put that banner up there, that will solve it. I decide, well, I'm going to put the flag in there. That will make things better. I just keep putting in all my blue flowers. I really ended up running out of every blue flower. This was tedious. This was hard to stick that in there. But it just looks terrible. I think it's looking terrible. Then I find these red baby breath stems that I bought 2 years ago for Valentine's Day, and I realized that they will pull apart. So I can pull them apart and stick them around, and if I ever want to put them back together so they're on large stems, I can do that, which makes me feel a little bit better because I didn't want to cut anything apart for this. And I just keep moving them around, moving the big flowers around, and trying to fill it in the best I can, really just to get it to the point where I wouldn't feel embarrassed to have it on my front porch, and I think I managed to do it. Now I'm going to clean up my porch and put everything away. I'm not being super careful about it. And I remember I have one more of the shooting star sprays, which makes me happy because it will make this arrangement more balanced. So I put a spray on each side, and then I put the firecrackers back in the middle. I find the fireworks sprays that didn't work on the wreath, and I put them in with the flags, and then I bring out my grandfather's bench so that we'll have more seating to watch the fireworks, and I have a couple more of these pillows. I rearranged the chairs, so let me show you a quick tour of the porch. It's such fun to sit on this front porch. We live in a circle, and all the families bring out their fireworks and set them off in the middle, and the kids are running around. We just have a really good time on the 4th of July, and I hope you have one. If you haven't seen them, I have more 4th of July decorating videos, and I'll add a link to the playlist here. Please tell me what you think in the comments and give it a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye!